Hello everyone and welcome to the Copilot News. This month I want to show you the Copilot function in Excel. Last month we already saw that Copilot has now been integrated into Word, Excel and PowerPoint for all users of Microsoft Office, but the Copilot function is something you can only use if you have a premium license for Copilot. So how do you use this function? Well, it is a function like any other. You just start typing Copilot and you will see that the function appears. Now, in comparison to what you have in the Copilot side panel, which is where you can get information about your documents, but Copilot cannot really work within your document, this one allows you to create and work on data within your file itself. So as an example, I'm going to ask, give me a list of dummy data. For example, I need a list of dummy names in my Excel file and I don't want to find them or I don't want to invent those names. I can do that directly into Excel. This is a text function, so this means that as a prompt part, I need to put this between quotation marks. And then the prompt part is actually what you would just put in Copilot chats in the online version. I can write it in here as well. For example, give me a list of 20 dummy names. I close my quotation marks, I close the function, and I press enter. And now you have to wait a little bit, and there you go, I have a list of my 20 names. Now, what is really cool is that you can use this function based on another function as well, or on other data as well. Let's say I need some dummy email addresses for this list. I can also do that with the Copilot function. Let me fill it in. Now what I do here is I'm going to ask for a list of dummy email addresses, but I want to do that based on that list I created earlier. So for the second part of my function, the context, I can refer to other cells in my Excel file. Also notice that because I'm using a dynamic range of cells, this list was one function that created an entire list, Excel will now reference this in a new way. But I can just select my data, I have to wait a little bit again, and there you go, I have my list of dummy email addresses. So in this case, I created a list of dummy restaurant reviews. This is also something you could create in here. And now what I want to do is analyze the sentiment of these reviews. So I close my bracket, I press enter, and now Copilot is going to analyze these reviews and gives me the sentiment of those reviews. This is just an example of how you can create dummy data or analyze data, but you can also use this based on financial details, tables with information and so on. You can ask your question directly with the Copilot question and it will immediately give you the result. For my tip of the month, I want to show you how you can quickly create a frequently asked questions page in SharePoint based on a document. So here I have a manual, an employee manual on apparently temporal corrections and paradox management. And I want to have a document that explains, that has questions and answers about this document. This can be done very easily with SharePoint if you have a Copilot Premium license. First thing I need to do is I need to upload this document on an online location. This could be SharePoint or your OneDrive, because SharePoint will need to access that file in an online location. I'll do that and then I come back to the SharePoint page. So here I am in SharePoint. I have created a new page, and on that page I now want to create a frequently asked questions web part. On the right side I have my toolbox, and in the toolbox you already see a couple of web parts. The one I want to show you is already here. If you don't see it immediately, you can go to the list of all web parts. So I'm going to create a FAQ It is still in preview, but it already works really well. So the first thing I need to do is I need to add my source files. In this case, I want to go to my file of my time travel employee handbook, which is here already. If you don't see it immediately, you can look it up, or you can even access, for example, meeting transcripts that are available online. So I'm going to select my file. Next, I can select the purpose of my FAQ. This would be a policy document, for example, and I can also include other information that could be relevant. I click on Start, and now Copilot is going to create that list of topics for me. So it starts by creating categories about the content of my document, which you see here. I can go through this list to see if it is complete or not. Using the dots at the beginning, I can rearrange them, and I can also add other categories if necessary. Next, I'm going to create some questions. So again, I just ask Copilot draft some questions for me, and now he's going to go through that document and create several questions based on the contents of the document. As always, again, I need to check whether these questions are correct or not, if I want to reorganize them, and once I'm happy with this, I'm just going to create the answers for the questions. So again, I just press draft answers, and it's going to start creating the answers for my document. So this takes a little bit of time based on the length of the document, of course, but after a while you have a page with all the questions and answers based on that document. Once it is done, you click on Save and Close, and you're ready to share the page with your colleagues. Finally, I have a really cool use case I want to show you as well. Frequently, we have to fill in a customer update meeting report in a specific template. So this is an example of a template that needs to be filled in after we have a meeting with a customer. What you see is that it contains a lot of different topics that need to be filled in, and those are put between square brackets. This is just to make it easier for Copilot to recognize what needs to be filled in. So we have all that information in here, and this needs to be filled in based on a transcript with a customer. So here I have an example of a Teams meeting transcript, and the information from this transcript needs to be put into the Word document. Now, instead of doing this manually, I want to use Copilot for this. One small thing I want to mention is that I noticed that this works best if you have just regular text in your documents. You don't want to include tables because Copilot cannot really work with that. That's just from my experience at this moment. But of course, as always with AI, this can change in weeks or months. So this document, I want to fill it in. I'm going to take those two documents, put it in a Copilot chat, and then I'll come back to you. So here I am in Copilot chat. Notice I'm using the web version, so anyone can actually do this. Of course, if you have the work version, you can immediately refer to your documents, but even in this case, I can just upload my files. I'm going to use GPT-5 because it gives better results than the regular one, so this is also fine. And now I'm going to ask Copilot a question. Now I'm going to use one I did before as a demo, so that's easy to see what I asked Copilot. So please fill in the customer update template based on this Teams meeting transcript that I uploaded as well. I add the information also to make sure to fill in all the details in between square brackets and give me a file to download. So a very simple prompt, but it contains all the information Copilot will need. Let's start the prompt, and Copilot is going to start working on its answer. Right, and so after a while you will see that Copilot gives me the answer. It has filled in the templates. I can download my file, and if I look at the result, you see that all the information from the transcript has been filled in. As usual, always check the results to see if it is correct or not, but my experience has shown me that this is really powerful and can save me a lot of time when I have to do this. Thanks for watching, and see you again next month in the Copilot News.